week they will be having.
Okay.
So I'm not aware.
So the first thing would be look for all the JDs they came for last year. And last year for IMS, they came for a couple of more JDs for which they didn't go to any other college. Like Prestige, they go to. That is the only college, next or second college where they go. But for a couple of rows, they didn't go to Prestige also. So you could understand what all job profiles they were coming with to your campus. Secondly, you may not be a good fit for all the job profiles. So there is no point trying to prepare for all of them and overburden yourself. Look for the ones which are interesting to you, get deeper knowledge about those job profiles. But more than the deeper knowledge about job profile, the first step should be to understand the entrance or the filter process, what kind of assessment they are going to take. Like I remember for a couple of job profiles they conducted only an aptitude test and not really Versant, which was communications test, and also another one which was business proficiency test, BPT. So they did not conduct both of them, and they just went for aptitude test for those couple of job profiles. So firstly, understand what all job profiles, which one you are interested in, and what kind of assessment they would be taking. Now, in most of the job profiles, they take Versant and the BPT. Versant is all communication skills, primarily English language skills, listening, speaking, writing, and reading, right? And the accent on the other side will be American. Yes, American. It won't be British also because Deloitte being primarily an American company or US based company. So, if you are not comfortable with the American accent, you will not be able to understand the question itself, right? So, for that, I would suggest now, I don't know whether that is good use of your time or not, but watch as many US movies or American English you can listen to, because that will help you understand the question. Now, the second step will be to answer, right? Now, if you look at all these four aspects of language, listening, speaking, reading, writing, two are inputs and two are outputs. So, listening and reading are inputs, and speaking and writing are outputs. If we don't have enough inputs, then we will not have the right output, right? If we are not reading English enough, if we are not listening English enough, we will not be able to write or speak, right? So as much as you can do this, that can help you understand the pattern of Versant, because it is very quick, few seconds or a couple of minutes you get to answer any question. It could be typing or it could be listening to it. Whenever you are appearing for Versant, make sure your technicals are all in place. You are using a wired earphone rather than a Bluetooth one, because Bluetooth one can have drops and ups and downs. Uh, so that could be about Versant, and then maybe look for some practice questions online. Duolingo, if you can get some free access, so you can use that to practice for English language test. Next is business proficiency test, which will have a little bit of aptitude, then Excel and accounting, right? That is mostly for tax kind of roles or any kind of financial roles, financial accounting roles. So tax, definitely you need to understand US GAAP, those accounting concepts, not Indian GAAP. So GST and ITR will not help there. Yes, debit, credit, journal entries, those concepts will help. But beyond that, if you have an understanding of US GAAP, that would be helpful to that. IFRS you should be aware of, at least by definition. What are the differences between US GAAP and IFRS? So that you should be aware of, and so on. Aptitude, it is only about practicing it. So if you can get some sample questions and keep practicing it for the next few days, you will be up to the mark. In childhood, we might have done those questions. The train is going at this much kilometer per hour and so on. CAT preparation, all of it. So if you could revisit that, because we know, but the speed matters. You might solve that question in 15 minutes, but you need to solve that in 1 minute there. So it is better to revise that concept and then do it in 1 minute rather than 15 minutes, right? So it is not about checking your aptitude, it is checking your aptitude per second, correct? So that could be about aptitude, that could be about accounting. And for Excel, yes, maybe some of the common features of Excel, which formulas, what all things work, how do you sum, some of those instructions and all. Or for a particular kind of task, what feature of Excel you will use and so on. And you can get sample questions for that. Generate those sample questions maybe from ChatGPT or whatever source you want to. So that way you could prepare for that. So focus on right now, focus on the assessment and the clearing that first stage rather than worrying about as to how or what I will do in interview. For that you will still get some time, right? But yes, if you are clear about the job role that okay, I want to apply only for one or two, these two, then you can continue alongside, you can continue to prepare for that as well. So that would be long answer to your short question.
That was
Yes.
very helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
I had a word with one of my seniors.
Ah,
He had developed
that I missed. Connect with all the seniors who got selected. Yeah.
So last year, Deloitte came for specifically consulting as well as audit role,
Yes.
taxation skills.
Ah.
And I'm really confused. My seniors is able to clear the aptitude test, present in front of a panel, and they are CFA level 2 clear students.
Uh-huh.
And they are not get selected, and those students who get selected are pursuing their MBA from a marketing field.
Uh-huh.
And people they specifically came for a finance role.
Uh-huh.
I want to understand what they are looking for actually.
So the first filter is at graduation level. You need to have a commerce background, BCom or a BBA for all the accounting, taxation kind of roles. For consulting, I think the filter was engineering in B in your graduation. So I know one of the students because I visited IMS also for this session to help them understand. Huh?
It's just MBA in finance, MBA in marketing or any other stream.
For consulting also?
Yeah. Consulting, we don't have any graduation.
Okay. So then it might be open. Yeah.
It was
I
open and it was for Deloitte.
I think that was for one particular role. There was a technology consulting role.
Acha, technology consulting.
So yeah, because I remember there was at least one job role
Right.
for which engineering was because there were only 2 or 3 eligible candidates.
Correct.
So that's why I could recall. So understand that if you don't fit into the eligibility because that had SAP, and all that requirements. So if one is if we are not eligible at all, then that is a separate case. For CFA and all that, there is no hard and fast rule that somebody who has cleared CFA will be able to answer all the questions or succeed in that. I don't think so.
Sir, many students were asking about the CFA, so whether they should go for CFA or not, CFA certification. So do you think that's needed?
CFA is like global CA, and it is much tougher and a longer journey. So I won't say that you wait for completing CFA. You start your career. If you are still interested, you have that much, grit and commitment to it, then you can continue with that and pursue it. I mean, that will add a lot of value. Your value will jump multifold because within Deloitte also the people who joined in audit as well, they were it was mandatory for them to complete their CFA before they move to a certain level, and Deloitte used to fund that. So if you clear it successfully, your fees will be reimbursed, and it is costly affair. It is not a easy thing. You miss one exam and it is like $1,000 or so. So
From Indian rupees 1 lakh,
yes,
10,000 rupees for pre-registration.
yes,
Those
yes,
1 lakh 50,000.
yes. So I would suggest you pick that up only if you are too serious about CFA, you understood what value CFA holds, and you are looking at a global career. Then go for it, and then too, when you have already started your career, then you can go for it.
Absolutely. I think if you get into some taxation role, then many companies sponsor your certifications in that domain. So that would be good compared to with- right. Even TCS does that, sir.
Ah,
Every
TCS
company
also does that.
fund sponsor the relevant.
Many of these
certification.
companies fund postgraduate degrees also, like MBAs and all,
Yeah.
by having tie-ups.
Leadership
Or you will have leadership development programs with IIMs at a certain level. So you can go for 3 month or a 6 month program or a week-long program. Those kind of things happen. So you do get those opportunities. But I think at your career level, you should be looking at getting clarity as to what kind of job roles you will be good fit at. Otherwise, you will keep hammering around for multiple job profiles and feeling that you are not getting selected. However, the reason is that you actually were not made for it, and that's why you are not getting selected, right? So better to get clarity on, okay, this is my domain. These are the 4 5 job profiles. This is the industry I am targeting, and prepare for that. That focus will lead you to something. I mean, don't target 1 or 2 companies. Now, not getting selected for Deloitte is not the end of life. You can join Deloitte 2 years later also, and this we have covered in the last webinar also.
Right.
But if it is not Deloitte, then look for the mid tier or a lower tier firm in the same domain. No,
GT is there.
you have Grant Thornton Bharat also here. GT Bharat perhaps is on domestic side. We should look for Grant Thornton Shared Services Center that is in Bangalore, and I think they would have expanded to other cities also by now. So that is global services. Grant Thornton Bharat is the Indian member firm, so they'll be serving Indian companies, Indian MNCs, doing their audits and taxation. So that may not be of your interest. So some of you who are doing MBA finance should identify roles which are for MBA finance, not really for an accountant or a CA, right? You don't need to go for those kind of roles. MBA finance will have a different kind of job roles meant for them. So don't compete with CS. There is no point going for those kind of roles. They have a different skill set. So look for your kind of roles, what you can be good at. I think doing a lot of background research on these companies, what kind of job roles exist with them. Deloitte is incident, which will happen next month, right? But life will go on beyond that as well. No, you will see your next July also, and there will be multiple companies coming in. There will be more companies which are there in the world, and could be better than Deloitte also, because that is the name which is constantly coming in front of your eyes. It is being respected in the campus. Don't take it to your heart. Prepare, do your best. Give your best preparation to it. I am sure you will be better than what you are today. But don't evaluate it based on selection. Have a strategy around it. So that would be my advice. Yes. Anything else? Or kuch?
So now we are
Huh?
now we are entering in a corporate world. So what one advice you want to give us as a fresher?
I would say we were talking about it, portfolio careers, uh, which is essentially about having multiple parts to your career. You will not be earning from one career throughout your lifetime. For sure, that is a reality for you. I did work for 18 years in the corporate, 12 years with Deloitte, but I don't think you will have that chance, even if you want to, because every 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, you will have a disruption. And if you have a primary career, it will force you to change yourself. Either you will keep upgrading yourself and remain relevant, or else you will shift to your next or third interest areas, whatever you have developed or nurtured. So make sure that you are not tied to one kind of job role or one occupation and focused only on that, and leave every part of yourself or life uh, at the back. So do prepare for 2 3 things, whatever interests you. It could be a music instrument, it could be poetry, it could be whatever interests you. Keep nurturing it alongside, because you will not work in one job for one occupation for 15 20 years. That is the reality. Today only, I was telling him also, there is one guy we know who is a yoga teacher in the morning. He works 9 to 6 in a job. Evening he is taking Zumba classes, and by night he is a DJ. Okay, one person and multiple careers. And it is not just to earn more money. It is about enjoying that life. So he enjoys his job also, because whatever he is doing, that is part of it. But then fitness and music is also part of his personality, and he is enjoying that as well. So you are going to live in this world with such kind of careers. So nurture everything about you, not just one job or one profession. Okay.
What
Okay.
about marketers? Is there any chance
Uh, yes, I mean, there are many job roles which don't require only finance. So it is marketing communication, which is there, which is internal and client communication also. Digital communication, which requires, and all these are branches of marketing. So, but yes, I'm sure when we speak today, you will require certain technical skills also, some tools and familiarity with tools in marketing to be relevant to Deloitte in some job
And
profiles.
sir, there are new roles that has come up like business analyst, where they basically look for the problem solvers. It doesn't matter whether you are MBA finance or
Yeah.
marketing. Okay, if you can think and solve a problem, okay, you can get into this kind of companies. And in fact, not just big fours, but IT companies also. They go for MBA marketing, MBA finance, and all the other MBA streams. Just to have good people who can interact with the client
Yes.
and make a note of what then exactly
Who
trying
can
to.
present the
Yeah, yeah,
offerings,
yeah,
who
yeah.
can talk about the solutions which their parent company can provide to the clients and so on. So I mean, primary skill could be communication
Correct,
skills where you
correct.
can present it well,
Yeah,
uh, and another side to it is I think problem solving and communication. I mean, these two aspects
and sir,
would be relevant for
yeah,
any
yeah.
kind of job
So
profiles
basically,
for
sir,
that
this
matter.
techno-functional role has also taken up.
Yes,
So
yes,
now the MBAs are getting techno-functional role. They are given a technology and they are kind of a consultant on that for the clients.
yes, yes.
So be it SAP, be it Salesforce, be
Mm-hmm.
it AI.
Mm-hmm.
So you become a techno-functional consultant. You don't code, but you consult with the clients to understand their issues, their problems, and then do the solutioning about what all solutions you have. That's a typical business analyst role, but this techno-functional part, where you are not the coder, you are not the programmer, but you are a technical consultant about any particular technology.
Yes.
सर इजीली नहीं मिलते हैं बेटर यू आस्क योर क्वेश्चंस नाउ इफ यू डोंट हैव एनी हरी सर आपको जाना
No, no, no,
कहीं
no, no problem. Always happy to spend time with people. Yeah.
And there is one more question I need to ask. What is that one quality in any kind of interview, in any company's interview, that will make a person stand out? And also, what level of honesty we should demonstrate in the interview that will impress the recruiter instead of making him feel like that we are not comfortable for the role?
Okay. Instead of making them feel like we are not comfortable for the role. So even if we are not, or we are not a fit for the role, is it
compatible she said
compatible? Okay,
compatible
compatible for the role. Okay. I think honesty only to that extent that it is not against you, no, and you are not, no, what you say, you are not hiding any important fact from them. What to speak and what not to speak, that will not be a measure of honesty. Okay, so as long as you are in the context. So if you're talking about one quality, for sure it will not be one quality, it will be a mix of quality. Look at it as this. You're not appearing for a for an exam. The exam has right and wrong answers. Interviews don't have right and wrong answers. Right? It is an evaluation. That okay, though her English was not that good, but her logics were very good, or she had a valid point, or she could express herself very well, slightly here and there in the language, which is okay, right? So it is an evaluation. So take it as an evaluation. So it will be wholesome. It will not be just one or two answers. It will be overall experience of how they interacted with you. Secondly, I think companies are hiring for attitude. They know you don't have skills yet, all of them at the level they want perhaps, but they are looking for the right attitude. If you have the attitude to kind of learn new things, you have the attitude to adapt to situations, you are open to learn new tools, technologies, whatever is required in that job role and profile. You are open to work in teams, collaborate, and so on. Then they are ready to hire you. Yes, obviously a base minimum filter they will apply by taking assessments and so on, and putting conditions like you should have 65% throughout your 10th, 12th, graduation, everything, or 60% of those are base filters. That okay, we require this much minimum. Now, 95% does not automatically make them a good fit for the job profile. Above 65, all of them are equal, right? Now, if they have cleared their assessment, then all of them are equal. Then it is not about whether assessment, what score did they get in the assessment. Based on that, interviews will be decided. No, once you clear the assessment, all of you are equal. So then it is about your interaction and interview which will play a role. Yeah.
Currently, I'm pursuing MBA.
Yeah.
But still, I think finance role and
हाँ कर रहे
and I think
कर
that
रहे अरे सफाई तो हो ही नहीं रही है देखो कहाँ मेरे को तो दिख ही नहीं रही सफाई
Which is
मेरे को
okay.
तो नहीं लग रहा कोई आ रहा है
No, don't worry. So you spend time on getting
चेक
that
कराओ मुझे
clarity.
नहीं लगता सफाई हो रही है देखो
What is your graduation stream?
नहीं
BBA.
तो देखो ना क्या सफाई हो
Okay,
रही है
11th, 12th also commerce. You have been enjoying commerce throughout,
देखो अंदर तो
और
कुछ सफाई नहीं है
11th में भी डाउट है कि सही लिया था कि नहीं था.
नहीं नहीं वो सिर्फ इधर ही रहते हैं और वो भी कभी कभी आते हैं बट सफाई नहीं हो रही है। तुम देखो मेरे को पैसे तो मैं दे दूँ तुम्हें लेकिन सफाई तो करवाओ पहले नहीं अच्छे से नहीं हो रही है हाँ वही नंबर है वही नंबर है मेरे को है ना
Then
वो
identify
सफाई
your
फोटो
stream
करके
in
भेज
that, na.
ठीक
Like
है
finance and accounts definitely is a vast field. For that matter,
हाँ
marketing, HR,
हाँ
every
हाँ
field is a
ठीक है
vast field.
अभी दो तीन बार
Unless
लिया
you
ना पैसे
identify what you
वो
can be
साथ ही
good
के
at or
देते
what you really want to
दो तीन
pursue
बार
or
दे
you
दो
have a deeper interest in.
सफाई तो
If
अरे
you are
सफाई
feeling a
तो
disconnect
करवाओ
with
सफाई देखो
finance altogether,
नहीं
then you need to
चल
revisit
तुम
yourself and see. If you are no. It is not that way that I have less time. You have enough time. You have lifetime to explore yourself, to discover yourself. There's never too late. I mean, don't worry about how others will get placed and why I am not getting placed. No. What will happen is
चालू हो गया
you
और
will
इतना
keep
भी
applying for
देखना
job
कि
profiles you are not
उसका
interested
काम
in,
नहीं है ये
right?
मतलब इतना चालू करना कुछ आके
And you will
जाएंगे
keep getting rejected,
वो मची हुई है
and you will keep counting how many times I
देखो
got
ना
rejected.
छोड़ो
Now it could be say 20 companies I got rejected.
अरे वो छोड़ो तुम
Right?
मेरे को बताओ सफाई है क्या तुम
What
मेरे
feeling I am getting?
पहले अच्छे से सफाई करवाओ फिर पैसे लेके जाना
I am getting rejected.
ठीक है
Everybody else is successful, but
मैं करता हूँ
you have
दो
not
दो
considered
तीन
that
में
you
करता
have
हूँ
been
तुम्हारे
knocking on
लड़के
the
वैसे
wrong
भी
door.
बहुत करते हैं जल्दी जल्दी में रहते हैं
Maybe one marketing
छोड़ो
or
लेकिन वैसे भी जल्दी
ideal
जल्दी
job
रहते हैं मैं
profile
आता
which
नहीं
you
हूँ
are
शाम
good
को आता
for,
हूँ तुम
the
थोड़ा सा
first
इसको
interview you
ठीक
would have
करवाओ मैं
cleared it.
देता हूँ पैसे तुम्हें है ना
So what is more important, appearing for those 20 or getting clarity as to which one to appear for? And there is no right time for getting clarity, and there is no right time to get confused also, right? You can have career confusions any part of time. I mean, I have had after 18, 20 years also. He has, everyone has. With changing times and so much information, actually the entire concept is everybody is knowledgeable today based on those 30-second reels, because we have seen everything around us. Today a Panwala is also talking about Strait of Hormuz. He doesn't know which rivers flow in MP, but he is aware of Strait of Hormuz, right? Because he has seen 30 reels about Strait of Hormuz. Everybody knows how LPG is transported from one country to the other, because there is so much information available there. Does that make them knowledgeable or does that make them aware? So they are not knowledgeable and they do not have wisdom to kind of interpret all of that. So that confusion is spread across age groups, across population. It is not that Gen Z or millennials or baby boomers or even Gen Alpha. These four generations exist today right now, and all four of them are equally confused in their life stage. So don't worry about confusions. Pretty natural. It is our quest, our curiosity to get that or to discover ourselves. That is what will drive our careers. Otherwise, we'll remain confused for lifetime. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Any
Somebody else.
questions?
So when we talk about aptitude test,
Ah.
percent test, what is the difficulty level for clearing this test? What type of things that
आई थिंक दिस इज ऑलरेडी आंसर्ड।
हाँ,
देखो, एप्टीट्यूड और इन चीज़ों में तुम ज़्यादा मत सोचना, ठीक है, बिकॉज ऑलरेडी यू आर प्रिपेयर फॉर कैट, ठीक है, एंड लाइक सर सेड, इट इज़ मोर अ कंसर्न ऑफ टाइमिंग देन यू नो हाउ मच यू नो, ठीक है। इट्स मोर अबाउट प्रैक्टिसिंग, प्रैक्टिस करते रहो, एंड देन डिफिकल्टी लेवल बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं होता है, यू नो। तुम्हारे सीनियर्स भी तुम्हारी तरह ही थे, ओके, दे वर नॉट somebody else, okay, with a different cut off mark, तो निकल जाता है। वो समटाइम्स लक भी मैटर करता है, ठीक है, तो उसका तुम टेंशन मत लो, जस्ट प्रैक्टिस सो दैट यू नो यू हैव अ यू नो मतलब यू कैन क्विकली सॉल्व इट, क्योंकि टाइमिंग मैटर वहाँ ज़्यादा करता है। इट्स जस्ट अबाउट दैट। Versant is also like it's about practicing, ठीक है, you know, it's you know you should have a good focus, because you know at that moment there's so much of nervousness,
Yes,
और
yes.
nervousness जब होती है ना, तो हमारी इंटरप्रिटेशन वीक हो जाती है, मतलब वो जो बोल हम डर इतने रहे होते हैं कि वो मतलब प्रॉपर ग्रैब ही नहीं कर पाते हैं कि मतलब वो बोल क्या रहा है। आई एम वेरी श्योर कि अगर तुम वर्सेंट अभी दोगे ना इस टाइम में तो बहुत अच्छा जाएगा, बट एट दैट मोमेंट वेयर यू हैव एन ऑफर, यू नो, तो बहुत मुश्किल होता है, तो गेट यूज टू ऑफ दैट, तो थोड़ा सा उस एनवायरनमेंट से यूज टू हो जाओगे ना, दैट इज इनफ।
No, I think we should not attach that much importance to it that
करेक्ट।
this is the last chance. It is a good opportunity, but it is not the last chance. And from a aptitude or language perspective, see, we all have a certain level of proficiency in many subjects today, right? And some of them we could develop higher if we are surrounded with people like that. I did not have good English. I mean, I studied in Indore back in 2001, went to do MBA in Hyderabad. There also we got some regional, from different regions people came in and they had their regional tongue influence also, and language was not up to the mark in those times. But as we move forward in our career, when we gotten into the surroundings where we got people who were speaking in English, we were observing them, listening them, reading English, with those two inputs, it automatically started reflecting in our outputs. So there you get that environment. So the communication skills you need today is only to take that gate pass into that organization. Once you have it, once you have gotten in, then it will automatically pick up. So that bare minimum we need. Okay, and suddenly in 1 month we cannot do magic with it. We can only refresh whatever we already know. In 1 month, if you work 24 hours also on your English or aptitude, in 1 month it will not get transformed. Whatever you have, whatever knowledge you already have, revise it so that you perform to your best potential. You cannot increase it multifold in a month or 2 or even 6 months, right? But we can perform best to our abilities. So focus on that.
I think we had a good discussion,
Yes.
Anna.
Mm.
Let me a small memento for you. So last time
Thank you.
हमने virtually किया था, so I could not give you that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And follow Sir on LinkedIn. ठीक है, he is active there.
Yes, yes.
All right. So thank you so
Great.
much, sir.
Thank you.
Anna.
Thank you, Saksham.
Yes.
And thank you for this opportunity. And I hope I see some of you in the campus also.